YouTube? I'm here to bring you a real exciting video. As a surprise for Valentine's Day, I was supposed to get it, but me and boyfriend are really bad at waiting to give each other presents, so I got the Urban Decay 20 Vice Limited Reloaded palette, which is like kind of like a pop-up new Vice palette that is exclusive to Ulta. Ulta kind of releases random exclusive Vice palettes. They did that before with that lime green one that I don't own. I wish I owned all the Vice palettes, but I don't. Vice 1, which is a wreck. It looks like that inside. It has been well loved. Vice 4, which I recently got for Christmas from my sister, which looks like that inside. I wish I had them all, but like back then I could never justify spending that amount of money on those crazy eyeshadows. But now that I like to venture out a little more into fun eyeshadows, I definitely can justify it because they're basically the book of shadows that used to come out way back in the day that I always wanted but never got, but in a cooler palette form that doesn't take up so much room but still takes up a lot of room. Sorry, I just realized my mirror is not turned in the background, so you have to look at my space heater in the mirror. First and foremost, the packaging is nice and sleek, but it's going to be a fingerprint heaven, as you can already see. But I think the packaging is so pretty. It's like a purpley midnight black. And it has the Urban Decay letters, which this can kind of get on my nerves sometimes because it can be hard to store, especially when you're trying to store a palette on top of it. It's really difficult, but that's what you get with limited edition stuff. But great news! Everyone loved about the Vice 3, about the press and rise packaging, and they got rid of it for the previous palette, but it's freaking back, ladies and gentlemen, and let's do this together! Oh, this one's difficult. Oh, here we go. Yes. So, it comes with the little double-ended brush that all the Vice palettes, I believe, come with now, with the little, like, packing eyeshadow brush and, like, the little fluffy blender brush. These are the colors. Let's see if I can get them in lighting. They are pretty stunning. And the premise behind this palette is it's celebrating 20 years of Urban Decay. So it's their new formula, and they brought back a bunch of older shadows like Acid Rain and UVB, stuff like that to put in their new formula.
Oh, hi guys. Look at this beautiful girl.
But like I said, the premise is to bring the old to the new in the new formula and just combine some of their greatest hits and vivid, wonderful colors into one limited edition, reloaded 20th anniversary celebration palette. So you have your regular greens, there's mildew, acid rain, all that fun stuff over here. So I also like how this column is like purples and pinks and brick reds. There's a nice mixture of neutrals, but some jewel tones as well, which I think that's the premise of all the Vice palettes, is neutrals mixed in with awesome jewel tones that are just gorgeous. And they're the same buttery Urban Decay formula. I'm just gonna say it right now, Urban Decay is my favorite eyeshadow formula and has been since I was like 16 years old. Wow, like look at this gold right here. Gorgeous. And I actually used it for my eye look today, which looks very neutral. It's a very cool tone neutral look. So that just goes to show that a crazy palette like that can get you a crazy good neutral look. And what I did is I used Anonymous all over and as my highlight, Laced, which is actually like this light beige-ish brown. I used that in my crease, and then I did Suspect over here on my outer corner, and the beautiful glittery sparkly beige Champagne Midnight Cowboy all over my lid. Blended together. My favorite thing about Urban Decay shadows is they're not patchy, and when you go to blend them together, they don't blend away. I have so many problems with, I have really tiny eyelids, and it kind of really stinks, but I blend away my shadows all the time when I go to blend. It's just like, bye, or let's just put a giant patchy smudge everywhere. It really bothers me. Just take a moment to appreciate the box it came in. Like, this box is stunning. If I saved boxes, I'd save it, but I don't. This brick red, I'm so excited for. So like I said, awesome old school colors that they brought to this palette with their new formula to just bam. Mildew, smog, oil slick, twice baked. Those are some of their like really popular ones. Midnight Cowboy. It's just, oh God, so nice. So how I actually see it in like fours going, sorry guys, fours going down as like the most cohesive. But that's the one thing about the Vice palettes is nothing's cohesive about it. They kind of just put pops of color and neutrals all over the place so you can kind of figure it out on your own, which is fun, but it's also not for like when you're in a rush. This is for when you really sit down and want to really think about your eye look through and through. There's a nice mixture of mattes and shimmers. I mean, a lot of them are satin finish. Oil Slick's definitely a glitter finish. I actually only see 3 mattes, but the 3 mattes are actually 3 neutral colors. You probably are gonna have to pull another palette if you want to get a full, like, cool color look. I didn't have to pull another palette, but the crease shade Laced that I used is definitely not a crease shade for everybody. It's super duper duper light. So I feel like you are gonna have to pull another palette to get a full look from this, but I don't think the Vice palettes are meant to be full look palettes. They're meant to be pops of fun and color for your collection. And there's something to be said about palettes like that too, other than just the regular neutral palettes that are all in one. So on our first column down here, we have Suspect, which is like a grayish brown color. It's matte. Then we have 501, which is like a nice cobalt blue has gold glitters in it. Then we have the ever so famous Smog. This is made popular by so many different palettes. It's just a beautiful jewel toned brown. Moonflower, which is a beautiful shimmery peach. Over here we have Oil Slick, which was also made popular by a lot of their palettes. It's a very silver glitter black. Shallow, which is a shimmery kind of grayish taupe. Misdemeanor, which is a forest green satin. UVB, which is a bluish toned purple satin. This is Roadshow, which is a very glimmery, almost iridescent frosty white. Laced is an almost beige peachy brown matte. Freak Show, a jewel toned purple. Goldmine, an extremely yellow gold, extremely shimmery gold. Gash, which is a gorgeous shimmery brick red. Hot Pants, a very shimmery pink. Asphyxia, a very frosty light lavender purple. And the famous Twice Baked, which is the glittery dark gold brown. We have Midnight Cowboy, which is a nice gold glittered champagne color. Mildew, which is famous, which is their kind of goose poop colored but pretty mossy glimmery green. Acid Rain, which is a vibrant frosty light green. And then Anonymous, which is your regular scheduled matte beige highlight color. I love Urban Decay palettes. I always recommend them. I think that no matter if they're color, no matter if they're neutral, I just always love their shadows so much. They're my favorite shadows, so it's hard for me not to recommend them. Like I said, the Vice palettes are a little more for the collector because they're expensive. This is $60 and this is an Ulta exclusive. And you kind of have to, they come and go. There've been so many of them, I feel like. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Ulta released another limited edition one, and now there's this one, the Reloaded. They're definitely not for the faint of heart. They're just so much color, so much boom, lack of cohesiveness, which could go against it, lack of matte colors, lack of full looks. You can probably get 1 or 2 full look, but if you really want to do like a colory something, or if you're a skin tone, especially for this one that's a little bit darker, even a little bit darker than myself, which is probably everybody is tan or has nice chocolate colored skin, the transition shade in this, that's the only matte color, is probably not that great for you. So not a totally cohesive palette, but definitely fun for the collector. Beautiful shadows, beautiful blendability. They don't just blend away. Awesome palette. I love the Vice palette, so go grab yourself one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope this was helpful with all the swatches and stuff. You don't need it in your collection and if you're like definitely a neutral girl, which is why I shied away from so many of the earlier Vice palettes. But if you really are a collector and you love your colors and you love your fun, limited edition fun palettes, it would definitely be a cool thing to have. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you have an awesome day. Bye! My upstairs neighbors are screaming at each other. Now she's crying. You should say, Meg, feel bad for her, but they're the worst neighbors ever. They scream at each other all day, every day, stomp all day, drop things all day, throw things all day. And they have a dog that they don't let outside. They only let it poop on their patio.